so I like seeing that one in this format.
Nice.
Let's see. The sideboard, he does not have green Sun Zenith in his deck. He has 4 Knights, 4 Nobles, 4 Mystics. So he looks like he's going to lead on one of those Nobles on a tropical island. Let's see. Aaron White draws.
He's got a pretty good hand. He looks like he's got a Stifle. He's got a
Bolt for that Noble Hierarch off a Volcanic Island.
Ponder, Snapcaster Mage.
A Wasteland. Mark Reed's going to Wasteland the Volk. Interestingly enough, the Rug Delver deck's a little soft to Wasteland. This Mana Denial deck. He's going to play a Wasteland of his own and just waste Mark back and hope that he's also stuck on lands. It looks like he's just all spells, no lands. He's got a Nimble Mongoose, a Ponder, a Lightning Bolt, a bunch of action. But Mark has a basic Forest, but nothing else. Aaron White passing back. Welcome to the world of Wasteland. Right Mark has another land. Oh, he has shown up prepared to this fight. Let's see here. Mark has Mark has a bunch of potential plays here. Stoneforge Mystic, Preordain, leaving up actual just hard cast of days instead of having to bounce a land.
Wow.
I don't think maybe GTA.
Mark's laughing.
It's a fun game.
It's probably a bit of an awkward laugh.
Here's the Stoneforge Mystic.
And there she is.
Yep. I believe that's going to fetch Batterskull given this situation.
Yeah.
His other options are sort of Feast and Famine and Umezawa's GTA. We were talking a bit earlier about like which sword to play. There's a lot. All of them are pretty playable in this format, except for maybe War and Peace is the only one that I don't think has shown up at all.
Which is hilarious because in Standard it's like the biggest sword, you know.
Oh, that is an Umezawa's GTA for Mark.
Interesting.
Possibly presuming that Batterskull can in theory be trumped by a Tarmogoyf, but this GTA just gets out of hand.
That's true.
Yeah, once you get it to a few counters just sitting around, I don't think most Rug decks really have a main deck answer to a powered up GTA, and given Aaron's sort of situation,
it's quite unfortunate.
Yeah, he probably won't be able to get something in play to stop this GTA before it gets going. Looks like Aaron's going to discard probably a Stifle.
Yeah.
Yep. Still no lands for Aaron after that initial Wasteland.
Ouch. Oof.
Yeah, he killed 2 of Mark's lands, but Mark's Wasteland just sort of took him out of the game here. One of the dangers of running only 19 lands.
You don't really need that many lands, but if you don't have any, well, you're kind of in trouble.
Yep. Aaron draws another Stifle, not a land, and GTA's going to drop down off this Stoneforge Mystic on end of turn. And I think active GTA is probably good enough to finish things up here.
I agree.
If I'm counting correctly, a Tarmogoyf probably gets to... Well, the GTA is going to hit twice, so that Mystic would be a very large creature before a Tarmogoyf would even hit. So I don't think that that's going to do enough. Yeah, we might be seeing a very quick game here. Yeah, I mean, if this was local playtesting, we'd be enforcing the rule, no permanents, can't talk. That's just a Stoneforge Mystic attack. Stoneforge Mystic up the Batterskull as well. Not looking to get the GTA active just yet, potentially.
Just sort of trying. Just like, I've got plenty of time.
Yeah, got plenty of time. Just get this other Mystic into play. You can't counter my Batterskull, so may as well not let him counter this Mystic. He may have something to beat the GTA. That's a Mazavith, one of his various Knight of the Reliquary tutor targets, alongside Caracas and additional Wastelands. He has 3 Wastelands in his deck. I know it ranges between 2 to 3 usually. He has it looks like right before the tournament he went to 4 Jaces, 1 Vendilion Click instead of 2-3, and I agree with that. Jace is just super powerful in this format.
Aaron's still without lands.
Still just discarded.
That is heartbreaking right there.
Preordain, sort of rubbing in this mana screw. I'm just going to find all the lands I ever need. Looks like he has a Trop and a Knight on top. I don't know. Yeah, he's just going to suit up the GTA and get that one going. Next turn, he can either make a Batterskull or a Knight of the Reliquary, his choice. Opting not to suit up the Stoneforge, leaving mana up.
And Aaron draws a Lightning Bolt.
Ooh, still no land. That is a lot of draw steps.
I don't know why Mark is holding back so much.
Oh, he missed that he didn't have white mana for Stoneforge Mystic. That's what it was.
Oh.
Unfortunate. Could have had GT counters.
Oh.
They're just kind of chuggling off. Oh, yeah, big deal. Really matters right here.
I know.
Yeah, cool. You didn't get to put in the batter skull this turn. I don't have lands.
Rats.
You know, sometimes you can really just afford to make play mistakes because it does not matter.
Oh, poor Aaron.
Just gonna play the knight. Yeah, just still have these equipment. Don't really need those. Stoneforge
well-
Mystic Squire is good enough today.
I mean, I think that, even though Mark has a pretty commanding board position here, considering Aaron finally drew a land, I still don't understand why he's not trying to win the game as quickly as possible, because Aaron can just rip a few lands in a row and then he can easily take back this game.
I think he might just be trying to establish the most sort of these rug decks don't have a way to sort of sweep back into the game, so he's trying to establish like the most varied board state to play around something wild like a main deck Ancient Grudge. Like, oh, I just got like my Knight of the Reliquary got dazed, and then both my cards got Ancient Grudge, and now I have as a couple Squires, and he just played a Tarmogoyf, and like something just absolutely random and terrible happens, whereas now he has like Knight in play, and Mystic, and GT, and a Batterskull potentially coming down. So he has to have Aaron, he's just like, Aaron probably has nothing, I'm just going to play as cautiously as possible so I don't randomly lose.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely see that line of play. I don't know, I guess I'm kind of in the, just, kill him now, kill him now.
Kill him now?
Hurry, hurry, hurry. You got to get it done before you get killed.
Yeah, it might make sense if Aaron was like stuck on one land and not casting spells, but he's just so far away from anything to break back into the game that I don't really know if he's in a position where you have to kill him now. Like now you probably just start going for the kill because another land starts representing Tarmogoyfs and you have to maybe beat a Tarmogoyf and end up starting this fight. Cute little interaction here. The knight can attack and then get Maze of It after damage to untap it so it can still fetch a land.
Ooh.
Also worth noting, getting the knight into... Oh, this is going to be a Jace. Or an Elspeth. Either one is equally...
Jace.
So Jace, Faithful You. Don't really draw a land. But the trick is that this knight's representing Wasteland, so Aaron had to fetch the basic in his 3-color deck. But Mark can attack with knight, untap it after damage, and then activate it on his end step for anything he wants, and just sort of keep this knight growing and attacking.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Mark fate seals Aaron and goes bottom, so you know it was a land.
Yes.
Oh. Goodness.
Let's see. Its attack looks like it's for 5. Mark might not know about this Maze of It play. It's kind of a cute little trick. I believe Adrian Sullivan and I were talking about this in respect to Brian Cole sort of realizing this for, I think, one of the decks Brad Nelson top 8 at Grand Prix Columbus with him, just like, wait, you can do this. No one's really been doing this before. That's good. That's good, right? This is a good thing I can do. But it's kind of this like narrow corner case trick that only comes up in situations like this, where your opponent has nothing, your knight doesn't really have to fetch anything, or I guess like is busy attacking, wants to attack them, and you just kind of like, oh, I randomly have my Maze of It, I guess. But it looks like that might be a threshold in Nimble Mongoose by this point with all these discard steps. But I think this knight might just be...
Still don't think it's gonna do it for Aaron.
Yeah, this knight might just be a little bit out of hand. Let's see, Aaron's hand is a bunch of red cards, it looks like. Knight and a Mystic coming through. That Mongoose is probably a little short. Yep. Counting up graveyards for this knight, I believe still... Let's see. No, he has a Misty Rainforest in his graveyard too. And that's actually a 5-power knight.
Ouch.
I missed 2 because I can't see out of the frame, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I forgot he had cracked a Misty Rainforest for the Tundra, and he had gotten his first land wastelanded. So there's a Stoneforge Mystic that can get the Sword of Feast and Famine, and then there's a Jace, and there's a lot of stuff going on here for Aaron that is gonna really sort of shut down Mark. Yeah. Still no. Yeah. I guess he might just not know the Maze of It trick. Aaron dropping to 3, putting him to dead on board to the Sword of Feast and Famine, evasive attack next turn. At this point, maybe Mark forgets Jace, maybe he doesn't. It doesn't really matter at this point.
Yeah, I think Aaron just didn't draw.
Oh, there we go. Jace up to 7. So
Fate Seal.
Mark just having all of the clocks. Yeah.
And
Oh,
puts
you
it
can
on
keep
top.
that one. That's just the worst.
Oh, I know.
It's like, oh, this is garbage. Thanks. A brainstorm. Yep, see this garbage. I really don't want to see this.
Force of will.
Force of will,
oh,
your
insult
brainstorm.
to injury. My goodness.
Force of will pitching a second Jace. Still had this one.
And
Aaron just packs it in. Okay.
yeah,
Off to game 2.
well, hopefully game 2 will be a lot better of a game. So
Okay, so Aaron definitely wants these 4 submerges.
yes.
I think he wants Ancient Grudge. Does he want Counterbalance? I don't know if he does.
Yeah, I don't.
The thing I see is that this Counterbalance can't really interact with Jace, and I think that that's not a fight you can afford to fight then. You don't have a lot of ways to counter Knight of the Reliquary either. So his big threats, these 3s and 4s, there actually are no 3s or 4s in Aaron's 75. Like, not even his main deck, just anywhere in his deck. Everything in his deck costs 0, 1, 2, or 5. So he definitely does not want Counterbalance here. He might want the Sensei's Divining Tops, though.
Yeah.
If he starts turning into the Submerge Ancient Grudge deck instead of the Tempo deck, he might want to be able to sort of filter through his draws. This also might be something that changes depending on play or draw. Like, on the play, he might want to Daze Stifle down Mark's lands, but on the draw, he might not be able to because of Noble Hierarch. So I can see boarding differently because of that. Or just, maybe Submerge Ancient Grudge is just too strong of a plan. You can't beat those cards. You're, not well positioned against those cards to begin with.
It'll be interesting to see what route he decides to take.
Let's see. On Mark's side, Phantasmal Image sounds awesome here.
Oh.
Copies of Delver, copies of Goyf, copies of Nimble. Well, I don't know if that's a big issue, but Phantasmal Image just sounds like a pretty reasonable threat in this matchup. Thrun? I don't know if he's going to board it in, but post-submerge it seems pretty reasonable. Don't think he wants Pride Mage against this deck.
No.
Doesn't want Bajuka Ball. He may want the utility of the Bajuka Bog to deal with a Nimble Mongoose, but I don't know how big that is.
Yeah, I don't really think that's as much of a problem for him.
So, funny story, he's at these surgical extractions, and a friend of mine figured out his trick for the rug mirror, like this rug thresh mirror, was you had like 3 or 4 surgicals in your graveyard, you boarded them all in, and your plan was to wasteland their drop, surgical it, and they could no longer cast a Tarmogoyf. If you look at this deck, there are 3 volcanic islands to play the red spells, 3 tropical islands to play the green spells, and that is it. Like, if you get rid of their tropical islands,
wow.
they actually are stuck in a situation where they are trying to kill you with Snapcaster Mages and Delvers against your bolts. I don't know if Mark wants to do that. He might have a bit different advantage in this matchup, but that was something that was kind of considerable. Definitely wants Path, definitely wants Oblivion Ring. Wrath of God seems a little clunky against this Wasteland Stifle Daze deck.
I don't think he needs that.
Probably doesn't want the Vendilion Click in the board. Probably doesn't want Spell Pierce. I can see Mark boarding out Daze, Vendilion Click. So that's 3 cards. The rest of his cards are pretty good in this matchup. Maybe board out Force of Wills, actually. That's something that's been discussed a lot.
Really? Boarding out Force of Will?
Yeah, I don't think he really wants to trade 2 for 1 against Aaron's cards, unless he's really afraid of a turn 1 Delver, but boarding down a Force of Will seems perfectly reasonable. You don't just want to draw, like, you're not going to get the 5 to hard cast it usually against this deck. So you may just want to play this sort of, become more of a Maverick deck and just sort of play your threats, make them deal with them, kill them, and, the free counterspell's nice, but a lot of these times these blue mirrors have come down to card advantage. I know a lot of people in the Misstep era were boarding out Force of Wills, and I think that probably holds true here, especially because of Snapcaster making this matchup a little bit more card advantage grindy.
Yeah.
Interesting to note, Mark's deck, no Snapcaster Mages. 0 Snapcaster Mages.
You're right.
Even with the Preordain, he only has Preordain, Brainstorm, and Swords as targets, though. So it's pretty reasonable. 10 things you want to do, not that great of a spell.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're trying to just, run the beats with creatures like, Knight of the Reliquary and, Batterskull and things like that, like, I think you're right. I don't think Snapcaster Mage is what you want right there.
Yeah, you're trying to play good cards and kill them with good cards as opposed to grind them out and answer their things, Your idea is that the Knight is better than what they play, not that your Knight is going to have to be swords through something else. Unless you're really, really relying on winning Knight fights. But then you have your Stoneforges for that fight. These blue matchups can get a little interesting at times. Just
Yeah.
go a little deep.
Hopefully Aaron will have lands.
Yeah, hopefully we'll actually have a game.
Yes.
Wow. Just looking at Grand Prix standings, first place is Jackie Lee.
Jackie Lee, she's one of our alterists.
Yeah.
She comes to our shows and does card alters.
Yeah,
That's really awesome.
She started off really good at the Pro Tour and is now gonna top 8 Grand Prix Baltimore.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. So Mark Reed drawing his 7. Aaron White's hand looks potentially,
Yeah.
sending back, looked like a one-lander. Did not want to have a repeat of last
No.
game.
I
It's a
don't
volcanic
blame him.
island, thinking, we really don't want to be sitting here. Oh, draw card, dead. Looks like Mark's probably keeping his 7, unless he's waiting a little bit longer. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Mark has the full 3 basics, which could come into play in this matchup.
We saw Aaron bring out his island. Of course, he was like, I don't want to get wastelanded again, so I'll go get my island. So.
Yeah. The full 3 basics is really fun. Oh, Delver, Tarmogoyf, Wasteland, Fetchland, Daze. This is what Aaron's deck wants to do. Turn 1 Volcanic. Delver, go. Leaving back the Fetchland so he can protect the green source from a potential Wasteland.
Now, do you think he's going to blind flip? What
I,
do you think, Ari? How are you feeling? You think he's going to blind flip on the Delver?
Well, if I can do the math, I think he's unfavored, but that might be cheating.
You got to feel it. You got to.
After last game, I don't think he's going to. He's not running well enough.
Oh, maybe he used up all his bad beats game 1. Maybe game 2 he's got his luck back.
He's probably a bit less than a coin flip. I don't know. You'd have to use up a lot of bad luck that first game.
I mean.
So Mark Reed fetches a basic island. And passing the turn, Delver does not flip, but it is another Wasteland. So Mark Reed not really in a position to fetch any sort of dual lands today. Aaron's gonna crack in. Is he gonna cast this Tarmogoyf? He can also.
Yeah, I think he's gonna go for the Goyf.
It's possible considering Mark Reed led on island. I don't know if you want to expect Daze out of these decks, but you could. I don't think I'd expect Daze post board at the least, but you could play around Daze by leading on the Wasteland and just casting Tarmogoyf a turn later.
Yeah, well, Aaron also has a Daze of his own, so.
Yeah, but Mark can float the mana. Float a mana from the island, bounce
fair.
it to Daze, and do that. So Tarmogoyf comes down off a Trop. Mark Reed.
Oh, he's just a 1/2.
Just a Squire Goyf.
Just a 1/2.
It's worth noting that in the Delver mirror, I would almost certainly not play this Goyf here because you just don't want to get lightning bolted ever. Mark left in Force Wills. Force Wills exiling a Jace the Mind Sculptor. Daze mana up. Aaron, accepts. Okay, I've got a Daze and 2 Wastelands in hand. This Delver's eventually going to flip, right? Surgical Extraction Tarmogoyf. There we go. I was talking about it earlier. Their big trump is Tarmogoyf. And Aaron's just saying, I can legitimately just beat every other card in your deck with all of my good cards. I just don't want to lose to Tarmogoyf. And so Surgical Extraction takes out all the Tarmogoyfs. Mark dropping to 16, and he did board and counterbalance. Oh wow, that I don't know. Like I was saying, he does not have any 3s in his deck. Hand of Wasteland Daze here. Mark is definitely not fetching a non-basic, but if he has a couple more lands in hand, it's going to get really awkward if Aaron does not flip this Delver very fast.
Yeah.
So Mark Reed dropping down to 16 life.
15.
15? 2 from the Surgical. Oh, Force Will.
Yeah.
I always forget what that card actually does. I don't actually play with Force Wills most of the time. And most of the time when I play Force Will, the game immediately ends. So I'm not used to this thing of like Force Will and then there's more turns? What's this?
Wait a second.
Force Will and I didn't just draw 7?
And Delver flips.
Delver flips off of, looks like a bolt. Mark Reed has to play a tropical island. This is not good for him against these Wastelands. This Delver might just go all the way against this Surgical Extraction. Now, one of the dangers of boarding in these sort of situational cards is that they don't really affect the board. So Mark Reed dropping to 12.
And draws for his turn.
He's going to just keep trying to run out non-basics and then get dazed and see what happens.
I mean, if it's all you got, it's all you got, you know?
Oh, Caracas. And then, let's see, Preordain with Daze Mana up. Source of Plowshares, that is, well, not exactly. Does he have a Tundra in hand? 9 life is a safe life total with only 3 Nimble Mongoose and 3 Delvers and 3 Snapcaster Mages potentially left, facing down a Lightning Bolt. But does he have another white land when he gets Wastelanded? So Mark's going to drop to 9 from this attack. Aaron in hand has a Lightning Bolt, a Daze, and the card he just drew for his turn. Let's see, it looks like a Volcanic Island. Let's see, is there a Tundra? Or a Savannah? Basic Plains would work too. Fetch land, there's the Tundra. Passing the turn, I would have upkeeped this. Yeah, I would have definitely upkeep this to prevent him from like drawing another Daze. This is going to be an in-response Brainstorm.
Looks like gonna try to dig for that little Force Will.
It's potentially he gets punished for playing the land this turn because he could see this fetch land. You could shuffle away Stifle Daze here that he doesn't want. Instead, he's gonna have to redraw one of these two. Opting to put is that a Misty Rainforest going back on top?
I think so.
He might want to keep the Stifle because Mark doesn't have. I think he wants. I don't know which ones he wants. Stifle stops a Stoneforge or a land that fetches for a green. Daze could also stop a Stoneforge if Mark doesn't have a land, or Knight. Daze could also stop an eventual Planeswalker. All of his cards are actually pretty good. This Brainstorm might actually be surprisingly okay as just a put 2 back on top and don't shuffle. It's a just immediate Lightning Bolts.
Well, I think he had a Snapcaster Mage, so
yes,
I think he's gonna try to kill him with bolts.
Yes, he does have the extra mana off this Misty Rainforest, though. Looks like he's shuffling the Stifle away. I'm not so sure about that. He might not sacrifice the Misty here, I guess. Natural Savannah. Noble Hierarch.
I think Aaron's fine with that.
Yeah. And?
Yeah, I think he's going to snap Bolt.
Yep, Snapcaster Mage. Bolt your face. Yeah, Bolt your face because 3 is much better than 4.
Yes.
Because you could draw another Bolt. Is he going to draw the Stifle? Yeah, he's opting to draw the Stifle here. I'm unsure if I'd want to keep drawing the Stifle here. I'd want to just try and dig for another Bolt, I think.
I think so.
Or Brainstorm.
He's even got Chain Lightning, too, he can draw.
Yeah. Maybe he's... At least he's drawing the Stifle. He could be considering that he wants to draw or keep him off of a Stoneforge activation to get back from 1 life. That could be something that's relevant here. Because if a Stoneforge Mystic can't find a Batterskull or a Jite, getting back from 1 life is going to be a rough climb.
5 seconds.
So Aaron
Mark Reed knows that Aaron still has the Daze in hand. Source of Plowshares the Snapcaster Mage.
Think about 25 seconds.
And Aaron thinks and picks him up.
Yep. Mark Reed at a dangerously low 1 life against this deck with Lightning Bolts and Chain Lightnings. Aaron White probably Knight of the Reliquary, getting dazed.
Yeah, he's like, no,
yeah.
sir.
Probably baiting so he can get a Jace next turn and start face healing. That's what I'm thinking here. Aaron White leaves the fetch line in play probably so he can draw Brainstorm then shuffle.
And drew another Snapcaster Mage.
Ooh.
Think about 20 seconds.
Yep, there's Snapcaster Brainstorm probably. Yep. I might have saved that for instant speed because if Mark taps out for a Jason activates it,
And
you
there's
actually
the Bolt.
Oh, there's the Bolt.
Yep.
But I would have kept the Trop, play around Daze maybe. Probably you can't assume he has Daze post board against you.
Yeah. Well,
Cards.
especially since he let the.
Oh, and that's the scoops.
Yep.
Okay.
Game 3.
Yeah, but I might have left that for end step because if Mark taps out for a Jason activates it, he's tapping his Noble Hierarch. End of turn, make a Coromorph attack. You know, you don't even need to hit the Lightning Bolt. So does Mark change anything after seeing Counterbalance that game? Does he bring in Pride Mage? Does he care about Counterbalance?
I don't know if Mark really cares about Counterbalance. Like, if you looked at his deck, you know, and he could have been like, well, does he have any, you know, 3s or 4s, which are the cards he's really worried about protecting? You know, like,
Yeah.
If I were Mark, I wouldn't be worried about Counterbalance.
Yeah, it protects the 3s and 4s, but like your 2s are just gonna come down on 2 anyways, like Stoneforge Mystic. And, you know, you can just Stoneforge Mystic in a GT. Unless you're trying to, the only thing I really see is this Swords of the Plowshares that Mark's really potentially losing to this Counterbalance. But there we see the Rug Delver deck on the correct side of the Wasteland that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark sort of stuck in this loop of draw a non-basic, cast a non-basic, lose my non-basic, draw a non-basic, cast my non-basic, lose my non-basic, don't play spells, to make up for the fact that Aaron was on 0 lands game 1 for most of the game and just discarding.
You know, I tell you, I really, really like watching Legacy. It's so cool to see all the different card interactions and, you know, just the different kind of things that, you know, you see and things that you don't even like, you know, the Night of the Reliquary Maze of Ith interaction, like, you know, those are kind of things that you just don't really get in Standard, you know.
Yeah, there's kind of like, the Standard's kind of getting there right now with a lot of the cards, but there's a lot of, Legacy's just such a deep card pool that there's just more interactions and just more like very corner cases that come up. You know, a lot of things involving like when you fetch your land against days. I've seen a lot of people just lose games because they're like, oh, well, you know, I just crack, or like against Stifle too, just like they're like, okay, well, I'll, you know, counter your thing. Well, I'll crack my land to counter your thing. I'll daze in response, and they're just like, well, counter, dead.
Alright, so looks like they're reviewing their sideboards again. Probably Mark might be, you know, thinking about those counterbalances. Aaron might be, well, maybe these counterbalances aren't what I exactly want.
Maybe Mark's moving away from these surgical extractions, you know. Again, you're attacking their threat, but, you know, he can still just get Delvered like that game. Delver is just kind of that guy.
Yeah.
The Rug Delver deck, 50% of the time it wins every time. Oh, Delver flipped on 2. Congrats. No, realistically, this Delver deck is a lot lower variance than the other Delver decks. You know, Delver flips on 2 a lot more. You can upkeep Brainstorm in response to the trigger. Brainstorm and Ponder are just so much better at flipping Delver than all the other options.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this top 2 helps with that. So, it's kind of funny. I'm sitting here with, like thinking about my article that I'm writing, but like one of the things I was mentioning in this about Delver is that, you know, the variance isn't in the Delver flips like it is in other formats where it's like, oop, I hit it, oops, I hit it, oops, I didn't hit it. It's in the fact that, well, I drew a Stifle on turn 6 instead of having it on turn 1 or something like that, or my opponent drew all non-fetch lands and I had a Stifle, or my opponent drew all fetch lands and I had a Wasteland. It's kind of like this weird situation of your tempo cards maybe not lining up with their mana. It's kind of like that old Rock problem where like, I drew all Duresses and they had all Tarmogoyfs, or they drew all Counterspells and I had all Smothers.
All right.
So Mark Reed's going to be on the play here, which is going to be huge in this matchup.
Looks like he's probably shipping his hand back, so.
Yeah.
And I think Aaron's probably keeping his.
Yep. Let's see. I want to see some Delver flips early. I want some exciting games.
I like blind flips on the Delvers. That's like my favorite part.
The Rug Delver deck's a lot less exciting to watch when it doesn't flip a Delver. It just feels so much less powerful when it doesn't have 1 mana 3/2 flying. Yeah, I think I'm used to paying like 4 mana for that one in limited. You know, like it just costs 1. Oh yeah, Snapping Drake.
or you pay 4 mana for a 3/2 flyer. The Nephelia Sea Sky.
Or 2/3 flyer.
What did I say?
Sentinels of Glen Alondra.
Yeah.
I've seen you before. Last time you were a fairy. Let's see. But fairies have been making appearances at the top tables in the black-white deck that Joe Bernal was playing with Bitter Blossom.
Ooh.
Fighting for a slightly different team. So Mark, both players have land go on turn 1. Mark with Island Misty to Aaron's Scalding Tarn.
Aaron has 2 forced in hand, and looks like Kind of looks like he's got a grip full of lands. Almost.
Mark should be responding to this. Again, this sort of situation where people responding with fetch lands to fetch lands. Now Mark can get stifled off of this fetch land. If he had fetched, a basic in response, Aaron would be in a situation where he could not stifle that fetch. There's just like a lot of very weird intricacies involving like stifles and wastelands in the early games here that are very easy to punish your opponent for making a slight misstep. But Aaron drops a Tarmogoyf off a trop, says go. Mark opts to draw his card before fetching. Let's see, is a Knight going to come down in bolt range? Is Mark going to risk it? So Tundra, and that is a Stoneforge Mystic. Let's see here. Do you get Batterskull or GTA? He gets Feast and Famine.
Yeah, I think Feast and Famine would be a really good choice here.
Like, Feast and Famine gives them range to play a Lightning Bolt and sort of disrupt you a little more. GTA seals the deal a bit faster or a bit harder than Batterskull does, but is a bit hard to get going. And Batterskull is the worst if they just have the Lightning Bolt on the spot.
I didn't see what he grabbed.
Huh?
I didn't see what he grabbed. It looked like he had put it off the
It was Feast and
screen.
Famine.
It was Feast and Famine? Okay.
Yeah. But neither of these Forcible is coming down for Aaron. I think he has a Chain Lightning, though. It looks like a... Maybe he doesn't have a Chain Lightning. This Bolt's gonna this Goyf's just gonna get in there as a 1/2 then. Oh, that's an Ancient Grudge. That's what the right card is.
Okay,
Double
so-
Tarmogoyf for Aaron, getting ready to grudge down this sword and potentially just crash in for 6 when Mark uses his mana and just got a Time Walk in effectively. That is rough. Wasteland, but that doesn't really do too much here. I would probably not Wasteland. Aaron's spells all are very cheap. Wasteland takes down the Vault, but Aaron still has red mana off of this Misty Rainforest.
Yeah, but Mark's feeling pretty good about getting that Feast and Famine, but Aaron's like, I gotcha.
Have the Ancient Grudge back.
I gotcha.
Let's see.
Draws a Scalding Tarn.
Let's see. These 2 Forcibles in his hand, I have a feeling one of them is going to get pitched to the other. Stoneforge Mystic, debating whether it wants to step in front of a Tarmogoyf. I think it should at this point. If he has the Lightning Bolt, the Mystic's going to die anyways. So, I'm trying to think of what... I guess he could have a Brainstorm. That would be very bad. Just get Brainstormed out of combat as a battle growth. Or a Hunger of the Howl Pack, I guess. So, Sword of Feast and Famine. Off of the Stoneforge on end step. Mark untaps and draws. Plays another Misty Rainforest. 2 Tarmogoyfs staring down Stoneforge and Feast and Famine, but Aaron White, with the red source off the Misty and the Ancient Grudge in hand, looking to be a bit ahead. Misty Rainforest gets cracked.
Now, do you equip and bash here?
I don't know. It depends on what Mark has in hand. I'm assuming that's his plan, but maybe he's just trying to stick a Knight. Yeah, that might be it. A Knight of the Reliquary here would be brutal. That would swing this game around.
But,
Ancient Grudge doesn't...
Aaron's still got the 2 forces, though, so Knight, like, if he plays Knight, it's not going to land.
Well, if Mark is a force back, this could be a bit of the showdown right here. Let's see. Does Aaron have multiple blue spells to pitch to these forces? It's an Ancient Grudge, Force, but what's his last card?
I'm not sure.
Another Trop. This looks like... Thrun the last troll shows up. And interestingly enough, Ancient Grudge only puts these Tarmogoyfs at 3 4s. Oh, wow. Oh. That's this Lightning Bolt, too. This is going to get really interesting. This troll might just randomly die in combat here. If it blocks. Yeah, if it blocks, Aaron has Ancient Grudge your sword, Bolt your Stoneforge Mystic. Nope, no attacks.
He passes a turn.
I think he should have attacked and just... but that represents you have Ancient Grudge. Maybe you just want to bait the attack. I don't know. It's kind of a tricky situation. If you attack with both Goyfs, Mark almost knows you have the Ancient Grudge. But, yep, suiting up. And this is going to be... Oh, wow. He's going to Grudge the sword, Bolt the Mystic, block with a 4/5 Goyf, force the regen, and basically...
Get him to tap out.
Completely time walk Mark tap this troll, attack him back for 8, and put him to dead on board,
Wow.
forcing this troll back to D. This is going to be a blowout of a combat step. Magical Squire Glyphs exploding to block this
Just
pro-green
one-twos?
creature. He even has flashback on the Grudge and the instant to put into his graveyard.
Oh,
Oh, this
Brainstorm.
throne is just going to potentially die now. Unless Mark has the Forcible for the Lightning Bolt in a minute. But I don't think he can fight over this Ancient Grudge is the problem.
yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know
either.
if this was the right thing to brainstorm in response to. Yeah, I think this Ancient Grudge he has to accept, well, it's going to resolve. See what happens.
Ooh.
Because he has Flashback open. I think these Goyfs are just going to kill this Thrun. Yeah, double blocking this Thrun is going to occur. At the very least, even if this Stoneforge Mystic survives.
Mark is. Oh, he's brainstorming, trying to figure out what to do.
Still hasn't put 2 back yet. Ooh, there we go. Let's see. Usually double locks exposed to swords and doesn't put a creature in. This could get really interesting if lightning bolt on this stone. Ooh, immediate double blocks.
Snap block. Ah.
Oh, okay. So Mark's gonna bait the swords. Does he just want to save this lightning bolt for something that isn't this mystic? He doesn't want to try and get the combat trick blowout here?
No, I think he does.
Okay, there we go. So Mark didn't... Okay.
And he just picks up his.
Hold up. Hold up. Still have another battle growth here. Let's see. Let's see.
And
Lightning bolt's your mystic. My Goyfs are 4/5s. Do you have a
Mystic
surgical?
goes in the bin.
Surgical your own sword? Nope. That
Wow,
was
what a swing.
surprise chump attack from a Thrun the Last Troll. Second main Wasteland. Would have had regen mana up otherwise. Wasteland's a Volk. That's a very awkward situation to be in. And Aaron still has a Force Will up.
Yeah.
He has double Force Will in hand,
Double
ready to
force.
pitch.
Wow.
Mark
Attacks for
Reed
8.
dropping down to 7 life. Dead on board otherwise. Unless he has his Wrath of God and a Force of Will. He's in a very, very far behind situation. Or Knight in a Force of Will, but even then, Knight in a Force of Will puts him at Lightning Bolt range. So there's a Knight. You gonna pay white mana? He needs to pay white mana for that Knight of the Reliquary.
Yes, he does.
2 drops. As much as I wish a pure blue-green deck could play that guy, that is not going to happen today. Tundra is very much tapped. Oh, and Aaron even has the Lightning Bolt in his hand. Snapcastering Force...
And force.
Yep. Looks like...
And the handshake.
That's game even with the white mana up.
Wow.
Mark Reed getting taken down in 3 games by Aaron White's Rug Delver deck after a rough start with
I
no
know.
lands.
See, he used up all his bad luck on the first game.
He didn't flip Delver on 2. He had still had a little bit of bad luck left to burn.